Okay, crafty friends and fans of the Tilted Brick, this is Angie again. I'm coming back to you to do a few more techniques with these Color Blast powders, the colored ink, maybe the sprays, but I'm just going to show you a couple of things. I had been talking about using a white embossing paste and mixing the powders in, so that's what we're going to try. We're just going to take this white paste here, and I already have my bucket of water next to me like I've said that we needed to do. Let me adjust the camera here a little bit so you can see everything. There we go. I just have a little surface down to protect my surface, make it easier to clean. This is just mixed media paper, so I'm going to take the embossing paste that I have here. I'm going to move this water aside just a little bit so that it's not in our way. And I'm going to take the paste here. I'm going to put a little bit. And I'm going to make 3 little piles because I have 3 colors here that I just want to show you. So we're just going to mix it up and see. This is any kind of embossing paste. This is just white paste. Nothing special or fancy about it. You can also use like a white gesso, just depending on what your project is and what you want or need. So I did that. Now I'm going to take a clean palette knife and I'm just going to grab a little bit of this color mica powder. This one, oh, that is a pretty color there. I'm going to take a little bit of that and mix it in that one. But before I mix it, I'm just going to go ahead and grab all my colors so that I don't cross-contaminate with a wet palette knife. So this one I'll just wipe it off. I'm going to go for the Olive Grove. Ooh, this one again is pretty. This has a nice gold shimmer to it. And you probably don't need as much powder as I put on there. But as you can see, like this is a giant container. I mean, it's a small container, but there's a ton of powder in here. So you can be generous. Okay, so far we've done the Olive Grove and we've done Emerald. So Emerald, and I'm going to just put these upside down in case you can read the colors there. I'm going to wipe this olive off. And now this one is the color Shimmer Dust, and this color is Amber, and I just think that's such a pretty color, and it looks like it's going to go really well with these colors that I chose. So again, just taking a little bit on my palette knife, and I'm going to drop it onto the paste. And obviously, if you want it darker, you would add more color. If you want it less, then less color. So let's see if I can get there. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my palette knife and mix it in. So same as if you were doing frosting for a cake, we're just going to mix it in. Mix. Look at that. What a beautiful orangey red color that is. Amber. So I have that. Okay, now I'm going to use another, go ahead and move those out of the way. Use this one to mix the green in. And this definitely has a lot of shimmer to it. And you see as much powder as I put on there, it's getting darker in some places, but it's still not too dark. So there's that. Okay, and then my last one is the Emerald. And if you wanted the marble look, of course you don't have to mix this all the way in. You could leave this partially mixed so that you have a mix of your colors. I'm just grabbing it. Same as if you were adding a little bit of food coloring to some frosting so that you can frost some cupcakes. So that's what I've got so far. And so one of the things that we can do with this is we take our stencil and we'll just apply this colored paste through the stencil now. And again, when I'm going through the stencil, I want to be able to see the stencil. So it's still deep in the holes, but that leaves enough through there that it's not a waste of your stencil paste. I'm just adding a little bit here, coming back and cleaning it up just a little bit to make sure that I'm not leaving too much on the stencil. And I'm going to come with this orange color. This orange really, this one is the shimmer, shimmer dust. This one came out much more vibrant than the other two. And I feel like I added the same amount of powder, but maybe I did not. But anyway, so here's our trying to smooth that out. Let's lift our stencil and see what we get here. And you can see that I just don't seem to have as much color variation. In real life, you can see the blue to the green a lot better, but in this video, it's not quite, well, at that angle you can see it. So another thing you can do is you can take your stencil while it's wet and spray it. I'm going to spray it over my water. So I'm getting the stencil paste wet, and now I'm going to apply it down on my project. Take a paper towel. Whoops, see what I did there? That's still wet, and so I smeared it. That's okay. We're testing out. Take this and remove that, and now we have a neat design. And this is perfect for a mixed media project. See how nice that is? Okay, so I'm just going to place my stencil over here in my bucket of water so that the paste doesn't dry on it. And we'll move on to another technique. So today I've been using all of these fun, uniquely creative stencils. I just love this. So the next one that we're going to use is this Color Artist ink. And remember, I told you before that it said you could use this with the paintbrush. So we're just going to take this and put it, let me see if I have my little palette nearby. I usually have a little paint palette that I keep nearby. And I do not see it it's probably right in front of my eyes. I'm just not seeing it. But I do have this. So I'm going to use this little bowl because it'll be really nice and easy to see this bright. Look how bright that is. I'm going to spray it with just a little bit of water to dilute it. And then I'm going to take my stencil and I'm going to paint my stencil. So I'm going to take the paint it over the stencil. And this color Spice here looks like it's going to match and look really well with this amber that we have, the amber shimmer powder. So take that, and then I'm going to stamp this on the mixed media paper. Again, using a paper towel, just to pick up the excess liquid. And then we're going to lift it up. Look at that. Put this back in the water.
What?
I'm videoing, dear. What? I'm going to dry this a little bit just to see how it dries up. That is a really good color match. Again, it's the Spice Artist ink and the amber shimmer dust. And it's very important to have the right kind of paper because look how nicely those droplets are on here. So we have that. I am going to take my palettes right here. I hate to waste all of this. I might have to use it for something else, but I'm just going to stick my palette knives in the water so that it doesn't dry on there really quick while we're working on things. This piece of paper or this little craft mat that I have, anything that dries on it will just peel off easily. So that's why I'm using it as opposed to my glass. So I'm not as worried about that as I am the actual palette knife. Get my fingers wet and then dry them off. Okay, so that turned out really, really nice. This Color Artist ink, I like that. Then let's go ahead and do, oh, that shimmer spray that we used was just so beautiful. So I'm going to see about painting with this shimmer spray. Let's see what we get. Again, I'm just mixing up the mica that's in there. Whoopsie. Got a little paint on my brush there. Just trying to mix it up. Make sure that the color is dispersed through the medium. And looks like most of it is off the bottom there. So I'll just take this. And it looks like I need to pour it a little bit. There we go. Ooh, that is very, very shiny. Just not sure if the light catches that so well, but it is just brilliant and pretty. So again, I'm going to take the stencil and I'm just going to paint this on the stencil. You see how pretty that is? Oh, I love it. Love, love, love me some shimmer. And I'm not trying to paint this perfectly because I like the idea of it being kind of a distressed with parts of it missing. So I'm just going to do part of it. Rinse my brush off, place it down, and we're going to place it on top of the paper. And there are times, depending on the what you want, you can let this sit there and soak into the paper. You can take your paper towel and wipe it off, depending on the technique that you want. And we have that nice design. I'm going to put the rest of this. I'm going to actually, I'll just get some more on here because there's still some in my little bowl here. And I'm going to stamp this over this other one to see how these two colors combine. So over a little bit and then on the side, that way we can differentiate from them. Although it is a different pattern, so we should be able to differentiate. That's hard to say. And there we go. That's a nice color combination there. This is just the shimmer spray that is, what is it called? Sienna. And mixed with the spice. Very, very pretty. Of course, we can also use our, I was going to say our stencils in another way, which we can use them in lots of different ways. It just depends on if I have the product that I'm thinking about close by. And it looks like I do not. Let's see. I've got one more spot to look, so hold on. Give me just a second. Ouch. Okay. That video will have to be for another day to add that technique because I cannot find my little bottle of Distress glaze. But since we're right here with these powders, let's go ahead and see if we mix them with water, what we're going to get. So I have another one of these little bowls. We're going to move that aside and get a clean one out. And this time I'm just going to take this color mica powder. This one is the emerald. So we're just going to take this one and we're going to grab our paintbrush and stick it in here. And then put it right here. Rinse it off. And I need to take that paste off of there because I'm getting my fingers in it now. So I'm just wiping the paste off that I stuck my brush into. I'm going to take a little bit of the Olive Grove. We're just going to spritz some water on these and see how they work. Lots of mica powders can be used to paint with by just adding some water to them. And so that's what we're going to test out here. And then the last one we're going to do will be the shimmer dust. And see what how this one does. And get a little bit on my brush here. And that one is much, much more vibrant than the others, it appears. Okay, so now I'm just going to, I was going to spray that, but I don't really want to put the powder around too much. So I have actually a little water droplet somewhere. But as is with all the things that when you're crafting, you cannot find what you're looking for in the moment because you have too much, not too much, you have a lot of stuff, right? So we're just gonna always add the water this way. That's nice and vibrant. And we can use it to paint. Paint the edge here. And add some water to it. That's nice. That's a nice color. I'll try spraying it. I just didn't want to like push the powder around too much, you know. Okay, so I don't know if you can see very well here, but the green has a very nice gold shimmer to it, and as does this emerald color. Very pretty. So I'm gonna dry that off, and we'll start painting with the emerald. See what it does. That's a nice color, nice coverage. I'm going to pick up the green. The green also seems to have some gold in it. I can see the bits of gold as it separates a little bit. And it is just a really beautiful shimmer there. Now I'm going to do my favorite thing, which is to do some splatters. And then we'll check and see how the splatters dry, if we can get some of that shimmer in the splatters or not. I like how dark those are. And then here's this one is the actual shimmer dust. And the other two are the mica powder. So the green and the blue are mica powder. And the bright orange amber is the shimmer dust. Okay, let me dry this. And then we're going to compare everything. Look at how beautiful this orange is. Again, that's the amber. It's just gorgeous. It's such a nice color and it's drying nicely. So when you're adding a lot of water or wet medium to paper, you want a really good quality mixed media paper. That makes all the difference. Those are drying. Oh yeah, the green is drying with a very nice gold shine to it. I'm gonna have to try to get it up close to the camera and see if I'm able to capture that for you. It is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Highly recommend these. They're very, very pigmented, just beautiful. And so let's see if I can tilt this in such a way. Really can't. Again, let me try to turn off the light and see if I can capture that in a different, just the overhead light. There you go. You can see the gold there. And in the little specks here that I flicked on there, it's very much the same. And then the amber right there, you see all of that shiny shimmer in there. And then here is the difference between the shimmer and the ink. This is the shimmer spray, and then this was just the artist ink. And you can see again, when I tilt it, you see the shimmer from the shimmer ink. And then the artist ink just has a beautiful color, just not shimmery. And the blue does have a shine to it. It's just not quite as shiny as the, or not as golden, but you can still see that shimmer in there. So let me know what your favorite technique was, what your favorite color was. And if you have any other questions, again, this was all the Color Blast brand. And we'd love to have you come in and ask any questions. Have a wonderful day, everyone.